Chapter 103, Seffi. Run, Seffi, just keep running. The shadows were long and ominously silent all around me. I ran around the tree trunk after tree trunk, the moonlight dappling through the branches and the leaves above me. And still I ran. Whatever happened, I couldn't let them catch me. Something sharp dug into my right foot. I cried out, biting my lip a moment later, but too late. Over there, a voice cried out from behind me, too close behind me. I darted to the right. Where was I? I couldn't tell. I couldn't see where I was going. It was just away. I could hear leaves and bracken crunching behind me, getting closer. Hide, Seffi. I made the outline of some undergrowth between a clump of trees. For a second I considered hiding in it, but I didn't want to have to lie down. If I did that and I was discovered, I'd never get away in time. Footsteps approaching, I made for the nearest, darkest tree and hid behind its trunk. I leaned against it, trying to merge with it, desperate to disappear. Persephone. I know you can hear me, Jude's voice. We're miles away from anywhere here. You'll wander around this forest for days without seeing another soul, with no food, no water. Come out now and we won't harm you, I promise. Silence. Moments later, a muffled curse fractured my silence. I drew a hasty breath before my lungs could burst and held it. The night wind rustled through the leaves all around, making them sound like they were whispering, commenting on what was happening on the ground below them. I opened my mouth and exhaled softly, feeling the warm air dance across my lips. Terrified that what I could feel the others would hear, I closed my eyes. Please, please, God. Seffi, come out now and nothing will happen to you. Jude's voice seemed farther away. Or was that just wishful thinking? But if you don't show yourself and we find you. The threat hung in the air like the very darkness around me. Footsteps sounded, getting farther away. I opened my eyes, my feet already moving to head in the opposite direction, only to stop abruptly. I gasped. Callum stood right in front of me, less than a yard away, and the fear I felt then was like a moment spent dying. Callum, I breathed. What was that? A voice I hadn't heard before asked. Callum put his finger to his lips. It's only me, he called out. I tripped. We've got to find her. The other man's voice was getting closer. I see her, Callum yelled suddenly. I shook my head, my eyes pleading with him, my heart about to crack. She's trying to double back on us. She must be heading back for the cabin, Callum shouted. Blast. The immediate sound of running, away from me, away from us. Callum stepped toward me. He took my unresisting hands in his. He looked up. "Do you see Orion's belt?" he said softly. I looked up and nodded. "Always keep it immediately behind you. When you reach the road, turn left and keep going. Callum, just go, Seffi." He let go of my hands and turned away. "Callum, we have to talk." "No, just go." "Callum," and then I remembered what had been bothering me about this stranger since I'd first seen him. I grabbed Callum's hand. "Wait, the man with the blonde ponytail, the one who came in with you to see me? What about him?" "He works for my father. I saw him a few years ago at our house." "Are you sure?" "Yes, I'm positive. It was him. He works for Dad. He wore the same boots with the silver chains. I recognize him. It's definitely him." "Thanks." He pulled away from me, and a moment later he melted in the shadows. I tried to train my eyes to see him, but he'd gone. I turned and ran.